Michael.
What's up, Gregory?
It's our weekly meeting, my friend. What's going
Yes,
on?
it is. Yes, it is. Well, this is going to be the weekly. How is the Wi-Fi at the campground, Greg? Is at this time?
Pathetic. So
Oh,
that's why
really?
you're running the show.
All right,
I
all
might leave
right.
in and out, man. Just be prepared to talk because I
I've
might
got
go
it.
away.
I got it. Look. I bring paper. I write things down. Whether it's
Yeah, man.
anything anybody wants to hear or listen to is yet to be seen. But we will.
Yeah,
We will
it's
soon find out.
it's old people's campground, man. They don't believe in internet around here, man. So they
Yeah.
they still have rotary phones and crap around here, man.
It should be bedtime at the old people's campground, right?
I know, man. I'm
7:30.
feeling a little woozy, man.
You got you some 5 o'clock Applebee's, and 7:30 is Wheel of Fortune and bedtime.
Did the water Olympics over there at the
All
pool
right,
there,
all right, all right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Frida was there from Something About Mary.
Oh, great, great, man. Gosh.
It was pretty. It was a show. It was a show. So,
Uh,
yeah, man, dude. We're kind of in like lull time for sports, but man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. You know,
It is. It's that weird lull time where, well, we should have spring training, but we don't.
No,
In NCAA tournament is your conference tournaments are
my
this
favorite
week.
time of the year, man.
It's
My favorite time
great.
of the year.
Basketball and hockey are starting to gear up for the playoffs. You got you some Masters right around the corner, and auto
Ooh,
racing is
I'm
going.
gonna
But
be playing.
it's outside of the no football. It's there's it is a pretty darn good time of year. If baseball wanted to play baseball, freaking bums.
I was kind of reading through, watching some things, man. I definitely want to start off with the NFL because obviously that's the king of sports, right? And there's a couple of things I want to talk about here tonight, man. Number one is this ongoing BS about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't know if you were like me. I'm sick of Aaron Rodgers, man. Just go ahead and retire already, right? I mean, seriously.
I read something about it there real quick this morning, and like Green Bay is like amazingly over the cap, and Rodgers has a huge cap number. They're going to try and
$45 million is what he's asking for.
Right. Yeah. And thankfully you escaped the DC area, the Motion Sports Network home base. You're at you're in Motion Sports Network Mobile Command.
Yes.
But okay. I know you want to go Rodgers, but give me a second with the Washington stuff, because you cannot listen to the radio or watch the TV or read articles or find it on social media somewhere that this player is going to be a great fit for Washington, or that player is going to be a great fit for Washington. And I think it was just about a week or so ago that it was Rodgers, and how well could Rodgers fit in here?
We got to do this right. We got to do this right, Sam. Sam, we got to do this right. It's the Washington Commandos. Bump.
Commando. I thought it was Commandos. I was going Commando in honor of the Commanders.
Yeah,
that's a treat. That's a treat for no one, and probably one of my most.
We are the Commanders. Bump. That's
and we changed our shield. That's so. Local TV newscasts give almost 30 seconds to sports coverage, and in the last couple of weeks, it has been at least 3 times that little bit of sports coverage that a local sports station got to do was about their shield and changing the names of the years that they won their Super Bowls or the seasons. And oh my gosh, it's
oh
dreadful.
My God.
And today,
they can't get anything right.
Today it started off with what it's going to take for the Commanders to get Russell Wilson, and then later on it morphed into Deshaun Watson coming here, and I heard some talk too about Malik Willis, and please don't let Malik Willis come here to Washington.
He'll be ruined.
They will absolutely ruin the kid. I like the kid. I don't think he's going to be great, but I think he has a chance to be good, and he's a great kid. Don't let him come to Washington and get ruined by this franchise, Please,
Yeah,
please,
man. I
please,
mean,
please, please.
exactly. But I mean, enough of the Commanders. We should even. I mean, like,
Oh, yep, yep,
it
yep.
should
Okay,
be
all right.
illegal for us to ever talk about the Commanders, man. I mean, on the show. I know it's
It's
NFL, but
just,
they're not really an NFL team.
well, you're stuck here in this area, and that's what you get to hear about how bad this team is. I've got hours and hours that I can do on how bad this team and how bad this franchise is, and how bad
Yeah.
this area, how bad this city is, how bad these fans are to just lap it up time after time after time after time. But
They're just it's disgusting. But all right,
it's
so Aaron Rodgers, so check this out.
yep.
So he's got like 4 options, dude. So number one, you know, he's asking for $45-50 million from what I'm hearing. Going to Green Bay, right? He can go back to Green Bay, and that's if the Green Bay Packers decide to re-sign Davante Adams. Now, look, like you said, they're completely well over the cap, right? They would have to restructure just about every contract on the team. I don't think that's viable. And Aaron Rodgers is holding the Green Bay Packers hostage. He said, well, we're going to do, he went through some Indian recharge or whatever he did, reset something, some cleanse that he did. I mean, I think he's cleansed so much he's really like farting out hot water out of his system.
Is his toe okay now? That's what I'm worried about. Is his toe?
Well, I mean, that's an important question too, Sam. I mean, how's his toe?
Yeah, how's the toe?
And
wasn't
did he get vaccinated?
Yeah. Oh gosh, but wasn't Aaron Rodgers like one of his biggest issues, his biggest concerns was what Green Bay was putting around him? And
yeah, I mean, but they can't put anything around him. If he's offering if he's asking for $50 million a year, there's nothing Green Bay can put around him.
No,
I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers alone.
Right, and he's
Davante
got. I mean,
Adams is asking for $30 million.
There's. I mean, he is a great quarterback, but can he make people that much better? Can you just put scrubs for league minimum, out on the outside for him to throw to, and him get, 10, 12, 13 wins?
Oh. Well, the sole fact that we're talking about the disgusting Green Bay Packers as a Chicago Bear fan is, and we're leaving off the show with this, Sam,
Greg,
showing growth of maturity.
Hold on. I'm gonna go back to Commanders. I forgot there was one more quarterback linked to the Commanders today, and you as a Bears fan will be absolutely thrilled.
Carson Wentz.
Nope. No. Mitch Trubisky.
Who?
Mitch Trubisky.
Oh yes, I did hear about that.
To Washington.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky to Washington.
Now, listen, let me say this, man. Mitch Trubisky, I have a heart for. He tried, Sam.
Okay.
Matt Nagy is such a terrible coach and ruined his confidence and ruined him as a quarterback, embarrassed him in front of the team. Mitch Trubisky showed little signs of being a pretty good quarterback. The problem is the system that he was in was absolutely god-awful. Mitch Trubisky, like Justin Fields, is a rollout quarterback making plays downfield using his legs and arm, right? That is not the system that Matt Nagy tried to put him into, and absolutely destroyed him, destroyed his confidence and everything else. He's actually a pretty good quarterback, can really read a lot of defenses. He reminds me of like I don't know, man. I mean, he reminds me of like a I mean, I guess the comp would be, I don't know, like a Josh McCown or something like that. I mean,
okay,
he's a good backup quarterback. A very smart. Can utilize, make some plays. I don't think he's gonna be a full-time starter, but I think he can be used, sparingly, on the bench and back and forth and things like that.
That's how quarterback starved Washington is. I mean, you talk about how Nagy ruined them. Come to Washington if you want to see him get ruined. So yeah, sorry, I had to do Commanders on you. That's two Commanders. It's okay. Two Commander strikes. If I bring up the Commanders one more time, Greg's going to boot me out of here.
Out. Yeah, you're out. Mm-hmm. But all right, so here's the deal, man. Like, okay, so Aaron Rodgers obviously can go back to Green Bay. Number one. Number two is, there's 3 AFC teams he could go to, man. And I mean, obviously he could stay in Green Bay, but check this out, dude. I think the best fit for Aaron Rodgers, hear me out, is the Tennessee Titans. Okay? Tennessee is going to have Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones. You put him with those three people, they could be absolutely unstoppable in the AFC South. It's also, you got to look at who he's facing. He's going to be facing Houston Texans twice, the Indianapolis Colts twice, which are, terrible teams, right?
Mhm.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
So anyway, he would be dominant. He would immediately make the playoffs and shake it up and possibly get the 1 seed out of the AFC. Now,
Right.
look, obviously, if he goes to the Denver Broncos, where he's slotted to go to, he's got to face Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and whoever the Raiders quarterback is. And right now it's Derek Carr, but I don't know who could be. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're
Yeah.
looking to trade him. I don't think that's a good fit for him. Okay. So I think you got to take Denver off the table. Although Aaron Rodgers is very competitive, I don't think that he'll go there. Because again, why would you when you could go to a team like Tennessee?
Right.
There's also rumors, Sam, that says he's bought a house in Tennessee too, in Nashville.
Oh.
So anyway, and also too, Aaron Rodgers is still under contract from Green Bay. Tennessee has some assets to give up. Would you not give a first-round draft pick up to
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers?
Absolutely. If I'm Tennessee with the team that we've got built, and that's a pretty good defense that the Titans have as well.
Yeah.
It's like, when Brady got to pick where he wanted to go, and he went to Tampa, and then you've got players that are going to want to come and play with him. If you're a receiver trying to rebuild a career on a rebound, something like that, wouldn't you like to go to an established Tennessee team with Aaron Rodgers? If I was Tennessee, I'd give up all my draft picks for him for this year.
Yeah.
I'd pull the old Mike Ditka in New Orleans.
Yeah, going for Ricky Williams, right? But so yeah, and then the last team, Sam, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, you're going to have the same problem that you had with Denver. You've got to go against the Baltimore Ravens, right? Whoever the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback is, and I'm not convinced it's going to be Baker Mayfield. And then you got to go against the Cincinnati Bengals. And so why would you put yourself into a position if you're going to leave Green Bay to go to these harder AFC conference or these divisions where you can just milk your way into the playoffs every single year with a dramatic trio like we talked about? I think Tennessee is the best fit, man.
I do too. I've heard that Tennessee's not that they're happy with their quarterback, but that could just be coach speak.
They're not.
Yeah, they're okay with him. But if you have the option to get Rodgers, you go get Rodgers.
Oh yeah, I think basically all but like maybe 6 or 7 teams would take Aaron Rodgers over the current quarterback, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sam, the NFL Combine is almost done, and in fact, it's pretty much done. And really, honestly, there's really not a lot of highlights I can really point to, except for 2 things. Number one, big men moving. Davis from Georgia, the defensive lineman from Georgia, ran a 4.81 in the 40. Now, they had problems with the clock, man. There's one guy, I saw this on TikTok, dude. He ran a 4.03 on the clock in slow motion, but the clock read 4.30 by the time they stopped.
Oh.
And his foot was across the line at 4.03, which would be a blow the record out, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know which is right, which is wrong. I don't know, but apparently the clock was wrong. But big man Davis from Georgia, 4.81 defensive lineman, dude. That's a big man moving.
There are some very, very, very good defensive players to be had in this draft. This is going to be a very defense heavy draft, and defense wins championships. When you go and get these kids, go and get them young and have that to build. Sorry, can't bring them up. I'll get kicked off. I was about to say it again, but
no.
All right. Anytime I'm going to throw out a comment, I'm just gonna pull the old notepad back up.
Please no.
All right.
Well, anyway, and Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, so check this out, man. All the experts said He's really not fast. He's not flexible. He can't bend as a defensive end. He doesn't have, the arm reach or flexibility and the speed to become like a true good NFL defensive lineman, dude. Did you know in the combine, in the shuttle drill, and in the four cone drill, he broke all the records. Like he was the fastest ever to break. I mean, all the records, that's ever been done in the combine. This kid is an athlete, man. He's an athlete, dude. I mean, he's worthy of the number one pick, but I don't think he'll be picked number one.
No, I don't do that. Not just are there some great. Is there some great talent, some great defensive talent, some great players to be had in this combine. It's pretty darn deep, and I think you're talking about the defensive speed. I think that's the slightly smaller but quicker defensive player is going to be where you see defenses move to. You've got to get to the quarterback faster, and I think you're going to start seeing offensive lines go slightly smaller because we've already seen the NFL has moved away from the running game. You don't need those big 350-pound brick walls up front now. You need them. Your line has to be able to move because you're moving the quarterback out. They've got to protect. They've got to move fast as these fast defensive players do to protect your quarterback.
Agreed, man. Agreed. So another thing out of the combine, man, that I saw, believe it or not, the guy who stole the show was a guy by the name of Matt Ayala. He's a punter. Okay, a punter that was punting like he could be like a second round or a third round pick, dude. He was punting the ball 80 yards like it was nothing. He was pinning the ball on the goal line and back. The kid was amazing, dude. Wow. I mean, how he was punting the ball, it was incredible.
Hey, look at Cincinnati and what they did and with special teams this season. It's a way too overlooked part of the game. But if you can consistently pin your opponent inside the 10-yard line, there's something to be said for that. And so what if you draft a punter second, third, fourth round? You're still not going to pay him a ton because he's a punter, but you are going to give your team something else that the other team, that your opponents have to plan for, prepare against every week.
Well, I'm going to drop a Commanders, my strike one. The best player on the Commanders team is Tress Way. So, who is the punter?
That's all-star Tress Way. All-star,
right, exactly.
The only punter Tress Way. I'm going to get a nice cool banner. This might have to get replaced. I'm going to need me a Commanders suck banner. I swear I'm going. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, everybody, but that's I think I'm going to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's man. Well, let's go ahead and move on, man. I do want to bring this up. I know this.
Hold on. In NFL news, did you see Calvin Ridley?
Oh my gosh, yes, I did, man. Okay. So look,
still developing story, but
Calvin Ridley pulled a Pete Rose, dude. Actually, Calvin Ridley went out on social media and said, like people thought he was having money problems, all this other stuff because he was gambling on games. Now, look, he was gambling on games, and the reason why they think that they're broke is because he kept on betting on the Falcons to win. Well, he would have lost because I don't think the Falcons ever covered a spread, and ever.
I read he was playing. He was playing some 3, 5, 8 team parlays. And if you're playing 18 parlays, and you're including the Falcons in it, you're not gonna do.
You're done. Well. I mean, so that begs the question, man. Like, obviously, players should not be gambling. They can gamble on other sports, but they shouldn't be gambling on their own sport, right?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. No,
but he's suspended.
Yeah.
He's suspended for the 2022 season.
I really don't. I mean, you're a professional athlete. I think you're going to be getting paid pretty darn well. Just don't gamble. Well, it's just for a few years of your life. How about you don't gamble and move on? As much as I
Well,
hate what was done to Pete Rose, we're looking at a similar thing. A player who bet on the team on the sport that he plays. If he wants to bet basketball or baseball, cool. I'm fine with that. But you should not be betting on the sport you play. But as soon as you start betting on one sport, you're going to want to bet on another sport, and it's
well,
going to
I
become
agree,
NFL.
man. But here begs the question, right? So Calvin Ridley, I think, bet like $1,100 or something like that total.
Yeah,
But
yeah, 11, 12,
it
15,
begs
something.
the question: is this? So the NFL came down, obviously investigated it, behind the scenes. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Mhm, mhm,
And then he got suspended 1 year. Okay, which is interesting to me because again, NFL's king.
mhm.
And did they set the precedence and show Major League Baseball? That's how you handle the situation. Like, that's a serious deal. He loses millions of
Right,
dollars.
right.
Okay, will not get
Yep.
paid.
Mhm.
He didn't get banned from the sport for life,
Well,
like Pete Rose did.
technically it reads he can apply for reinstatement in 1 year, and I think that Pete Rose is eligible to apply for reinstatement, and I think he even has. But I don't think Manfred has ever heard his appeal or done anything to look at his appeal.
No,
Yeah. So
no.
I mean, it's
So I mean, look, but like I said, look, you and I agree with this. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, no questions asked.
yeah,
Was it wrong for him to bet on the games? Absolutely, but his punishment is far exceeding
yeah,
the crime.
yeah.
Okay, like he should look. He's already paid the debt. Let the guy go in the Hall of Fame for God's
It's
sake.
it's
You know
it's
what I mean?
they will elect him posthumously. I can guarantee it.
If they
Uh,
do that, that's a shame. No one should
It
show
it
up.
it is,
No one.
but Pete Rose, and Pete Rose has said this before. He wants to be able to sell his autographs to say Pete Rose HOF. And as soon as you put that HOF behind your signature, the value of your autograph goes up. He absolutely wants that, and coming out and saying that was probably a bad idea. But I mean, the guy played elite level baseball for you know 20 years. His accomplishments, it put it on his plaque. Put a separate plaque next to his plaque. That talks about what he did in baseball, betting on baseball. The same thing with everybody. All the steroid users. Do
Sure.
that. I'm fine with it. You can't. You shouldn't take away these people's accomplishments. And that's what
So I
baseball
mean,
is
which begs
doing.
the question, like, is it
Baseball
the well? I mean, and the baseball writers are so freaking hypocritical. They themselves should not be allowed to vote anybody into any Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. The Hall of Fame should be based on coaches, players, and fans. Okay, the sports
Yeah.
writers are the bunch of biggest hypocrites I've ever. Like, you have writers out there, Sam, that always have this rule, like, I'm never going to vote for anybody first ballot Hall of Fame, no matter what, because no one
Cal
has ever
Ripken wasn't
been
a
perfect.
unanimous Hall of Famer.
It's insane. Like, how is
Absolutely.
Cal Ripken not
Right.
a first ballot unanimous Hall of Famer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think Derek Jeter got it. It's
I can understand Derek Jeter.
just wrong.
I can understand Derek Jeter, but I cannot understand. I mean,
Not Cal.
again,
No.
it's insane. Exactly. Cal is by far, a Hall of Famer, first ballot, unanimous, like, no
Ought to
question.
be.
You
Ought to
know?
be. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like I'm saying, but let's go ahead and switch over, since we're talking about that, to Major League Baseball, dude. This lockout won't end. Let me just say this, man. These players are soft. Okay, their demands are getting ridiculous, and I have to say this. Like, first, I was kind of like on the owner side, then I went to the player side, and now I'm on the owner side. It's like, you guys don't understand. Like, you have the cookie cutter contracts of all sports.
Mhm.
You have the best contracts. And now you
Guaranteed,
want more and more and more. And now you want us.
guaranteed contracts, no salary cap. Come on, but
And
they're not. But and how? this has been my thought. How dare you tell someone else how much of their money that they have to spend? That is performance based, performance driven.
Yeah,
You
right.
want to get the younger guys paid earlier. Okay, I I don't like the idea of those entry level contracts. I think that could be changed. It should be, you sign a guy, you sign him for X years, you sign him for 3 years, 5 years, whatever. You do that. Get this silly arbitration thing. You could leave it for a year or two, but real honest contracts that that start and include minor league service time.
I agree with that. um, I will tell you, man, like what the players are asking for now is ridiculous. Obviously, the owners were talking about, okay, look, we are going to now take the National League, put the DH in, which I cannot stand because it gets rid of a ton of the National League strategy that has been in existence for decades. Okay. Which again, it has the more strategy of either two. You can't do double switches. You can't, you have to have your pitcher bat. You have to know when to take your pitcher out. Then, is he going to be, be able to DH at that particular inning, and then you're going to bring in another pitcher. I mean, there's so many different strategies in regards to that. The DH is just another position that the team has to pay a hefty salary just to swing a bat, right? They're not out in the outfield. They're not out there playing the entire game, dude. They're just sitting on the bench, swinging the bat, and going back.
And then look, if you look at that also with the American League, in the National League, if you're a pinch hitters, you pay a premium for these guys who can come off the bench and lace a double out there. That doesn't the AL, those jobs, those salaries don't exist in the American League. If you're a bench player, you're going to sit on the bench until someone gets hurt or till they need an off day, and then you're going to come in.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole fact that the players are now demanding that they don't want a shift, like they're trying to make the shift illegal, which listen, here's the deal. I've been saying that for years. I hate the shift, right? But I also see the other side. I think the shift is stupid. But I do see, as a fan, I don't want to see this guy, as a hitter, basically trying to, needle thread, a hit over the second baseman's head, and then you get the shortstop right beside him, and then it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
just push that ball through the right side, and
again, that's the thing. Like a lot of these hitters can't do that. Like
no.
they're so-called professional hitters, they can't hit the ball to the other side of the field.
Yeah,
it's either.
But you and I talked about this earlier, and I told you that there's a thinking among teams now is this is going to happen. This shift happens to your big power hitters who are only going to they're only going to drive the ball. They're not pull hitters, and so if that guy strikes out 3 times or he hits into the shift twice with a strikeout, but then he comes up in the 8th and knocks a 3-run home run, the teams are happy with that. That's what they want out of that big masher. It's not all that much entertaining. The stolen base is out of the game totally. I don't like the idea of banning the shift, but like they did they set the rule here a couple of years ago that is, if a reliever comes in, he must face 3 batters. If you put the shift on, that shift has to stay on for the next batter as well, and then gamble with it. Gamble because the shift for the big power hitter, but next right behind him is the spray hitter. Are you gonna do that? You don't have to outlaw it. Just make something that forces some more bit of strategy there for you. And
Yeah,
why are we talking? Why are we? Baseball used to be one of the purest games. You throw the ball, you hit the ball. The changes that have gone through in baseball in the last
it's been
decade,
unbelievable.
It's that they okay, yeah, we've got to update our sport, and kids don't like our sport. Kids won't watch our sport. No, it's a great sport. But you have to get kids into it early, and you have to get kids playing it early, and little league. That's why we liked baseball so much, Greg, is because we played it as little leaguers. eight,
Yep.
8 years old, we're out there playing baseball, and
Yep.
it's um, baseball is fine as it is. You just have to market your sport better.
Well, listen to this rant real quick. Just give me a little bit of time, okay? 2 years ago, the world changed. 2 years ago, COVID happened. 2 years ago, we had to wear masks. 2 years ago, we had to work from home. 2 years ago, we couldn't go anywhere. 2 years ago, we had very limited access to what we had. Right. 2 years ago, we weren't able to watch sports like football in person. We weren't able to watch baseball. We weren't able to watch basketball. We weren't able to do all these different things. Um, 2 years ago, we couldn't go to the movies. 2 years ago, we had to get a lot of things out of our lives. We couldn't go to funerals, man. We couldn't go to church. We couldn't go all these different places that were a natural part of our life. People learn to adapt. That's where Zoom meetings came in, man. Peloton stock rose. All these different things
One right here.
happened, man. We couldn't go to gyms. We couldn't go anywhere. If Major League Baseball coming after this whole COVID pandemic, where humans can naturally adjust of not having things, if Major League Baseball doesn't get their crap together, people are not going to care whether or not Major League Baseball is going to be played this year. They will lose every single fan because, again, we have learned to adapt not to have. And if Major League Baseball decides between the players and owners that whatever they're doing is not worth having a season over, no one's going to give a crap about. No one.
Yeah. It's ratings are going to tank. Attendance is going to tank. That in turn is going to hurt revenues. So players, when you're telling the owners, we want you to spend this much more, but
there isn't going to be that.
But when you take the game away, I mean the baseball. When I was doing my some research into my my series on the way sports has changed in my lifetime, I went and looked at the average cost of tickets. Baseball is by far the cheapest average ticket out there, and maybe it's because there's so many games, and that's okay. But I think that I found the number to be around $250. Let that number go up to $350 and see what attendance is like.
Let me tell you something, Sam. With inflation happening going on right now politically, and the gas prices going up and all these different things, people are going to have to start cutting back. The first thing they're going to start cutting back, dude, is entertainment. Okay, the season tickets of the NFL games, baseball games, basketball games, those are the first things to get cut. And I'm telling you straight up, man, like this is going to hurt the American people. This is going to hurt discretionary income. Baseball, the tickets, and all these different things that they're doing and how the players get paid is discretionary income. You know, and I know. You did it and I did it. We cut the cords. I'm on solely YouTube TV, dude. That's all I do, okay? And sometimes you get a game, sometimes you don't on YouTube TV. Just like you. Like, we're not walking. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a baseball game anymore. I don't. That
is when I cut the cord. That's one of the first things that I realized. And this Major League Baseball. This is an issue that you have. You do not want to put your product out there where people are consuming it. And one of those places is YouTube TV, Sling TV, Hulu TV, Direct TV, I think has a stream. Major League Baseball is on 0 streaming services. Yeah.
Right.
And if I were to go and buy the MLB extra innings package that I can sit and watch a game on my computer, and let me tell you how many games I want to sit and watch on my freaking computer or my phone or something, less than 0. And so, but I cannot get local games with that. It's only just recently, last year, maybe it was the year before, that I use my Amazon Alexa to listen to the radio and music and sports and things like that. It was only just recently that Major League Baseball, when I would tell them to play the local station here, WJFK, during a Nationals game, they were switched over to national coverage. You could not hear the games. Why do you not want to give your product to people where they are? and it's the and as the reason I'm saying that is because um locally the Masson Mid Atlantic Sports Network is not available on any streaming service. You have to be with DirecTV, Dish
Cable.
Network, cable, your cable provider or something like that, and pay their exorbitant fees for that. I, and so when I was looking at cutting the cord, I'm like, I'm just going to have to give up watching baseball games.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
it's
mean, exactly, and it's not like, oh my god, look, I get just. I know it sounds stupid. I get just as much enjoyment going on ESPN, the GameCast, and watching what's going on in the GameCast.
I do too. I do too. Yeah.
I mean, you get this. I mean, like, okay, I see this base hit. I see this guy move to third or whatever. I mean, you can follow the game through GameCast now. I mean, you don't have to have any of that crap anymore.
No, you don't. I'm fine
exactly.
with that.
So, yeah, exactly. I am too, man. I mean, again, how people consume sports has changed dramatically, and baseball is obviously not understanding that people just are sick and tired of this lockout and really don't care because there's other sports right now that's getting ready to crank up and go on. You get the NFL draft coming up. You've got obviously the NCAA bracket we're getting ready to talk about, and then you got the Masters coming up. We're getting ready to talk about. I mean, all these different things.
And then as soon as we get through the Masters, then you're in the heart of the playoff chase in the NHL and the NBA, and then you're into those playoffs. The NHL and NBA playoffs are two of the best playoffs in sports. I'd say the two of those are, let's say, a step behind what the NFL playoffs are. Just one step. But
so those end in June, Sam. I mean, so then you have July. You've got a month. That's when people take vacations.
But July training camp starts. And then if it's not late July, it's the first weekend in August with NFL
preseason
baseball. You've got yourself a short window, and you've shortened your window more now, and you're turning people off. You're turning them away. You're not trying to get to where the people are, and you want to lure fans in. You want to lure kids in. Put your games on YouTube TV. Put your games on Hulu. Put your games on freaking TikTok. Let them watch a half inning at a time as a TikTok. I bet you, I mean, you're not going to see this happen overnight. But if they did things like this and thinking outside of the box, that in 3 to 5 years, baseball would start coming back. And one other thing that I hit on in my anthology there was, there are so many Latino Hispanic players. Baseball is not catering to that market.
No, huge mistake.
The way that soccer, all your different soccer leagues across the world cater to Hispanic fans. Baseball has the most Hispanic players. Why are you not driving after those fans?
I agree.
So it's just mistake on top of mistake on baseball's part. I think
it is exactly. I mean, again, from a business sense, it doesn't make any business sense what they're doing. And again, these players are trying to take advantage of it. But again, I think that pie that they're trying to get a cut of is going to get smaller and smaller. But anyway, we spent enough time on baseball.
As we're talking economics, I just have to. For one more time tonight, I've got to. Wait a second. Hold on. You talk. I'm going to rearrange things here. Let's see here.
I want to talk about something here real quick, man. It's a very important sports story. That's
the yellow paper isn't
really
working.
A global story. So
shoot.
Sam, I don't know if you saw this or not, but we don't ever talk about the WNBA here. We have a rule. We don't ever talk about WNBA, but we're going to talk about the WNBA just for this reason. Brittany Griner, who plays for the LA team, went over to Russia and was playing for a Russian team, had a vape pen in her luggage, and is now been arrested and has been in jail, in a Russian jail, for over a month, trying to get back to the States. And now, you've got U.S. ambassadors trying to talk with, the Russian officials about trying to get Brittany Griner back. And dude, this could be a huge international political story that happens to be a sports um,
Sports centered,
persona.
centric.
You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is WNBA. I mean, this could be a big deal, man. I mean, obviously, the media and all the politicians are demanding Russia. Look, you don't demand Russia anything, okay? I mean, but
I'm
first of
sorry.
all,
I'm sorry. You can be everybody in the world can be as upset with Russia for their invasion of Ukraine right now, but go ahead and get upset. It's as it is right now. It's really not doing anybody any good. We've quit selling Russian vodka here in liquor stores. Netflix has turned off Netflix in Russia, but it's not having an issue because they are so pig-headed over there. Like you said, you do not tell Russia what they're going to do. It could be negotiated, and I think that's what they're looking at. Is they're looking at this international incident now, and tying it somehow to the war, the invasion of Ukraine, to try to. I mean, the only thing you're going to do with this in getting her released from Russian prison is build some Russian sympathy back, which is not what's not a good thing to be doing right now, I don't think.
well, my question is, okay, there's three people to blame. Do you blame Brittany Griner for going to Russia in the first place? Do you blame Russia, or do you blame the United States for not trying to do anything about it?
I am okay. I don't know. I don't know her reasons and motivations behind going to Russia. I mean, maybe it was a vacation. Maybe it was seeing some family. Maybe it
She
was
played for a Russian national team.
okay.
No,
All
she was
right.
playing basketball in Russia.
Okay. All right. So she went there to play the sport that she loves. She went there to do her job. But she made a mistake. I mean, if you go to a foreign country and break the law, like right now, I mean, you're in Florida and it's after 8 o'clock and you're still awake. If there was anyone else awake to come and drag you out of your camper and make you go to bed right now, they would be doing that. So when you're in a foreign land like you in Florida, you have to follow those laws, which she didn't do that.
That's right.
So that much is on her. Russia is very well known for not being lenient in these kind of things. So you should take some extra care and some extra caution. Maybe before now, the United States could have worked a little harder to try and secure her release. But I'm going to put the biggest part of the blame on Brittany Griner herself for breaking the law. It may seem something small and trivial to you, but when you are somewhere else, you need to be doing what they do, following their laws.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, fair enough. All right, we're gonna end with this story here real quick, man. We're gonna talk about one more last thing here. The NCAA, Duke played Michigan. I'm sorry, Duke played UNC. Mike Krzyzewski's last game in Duke, and it was hilarious, dude. Like these fans have been in like the Cameron Stadium, like parking lot, camping out. Had to do certain rules. There's like 10 people allowed on the camping site. 2 people had to stay at the camping site at all times. And by the time they get their tickets, 10 people had to go to get their tickets at once. I mean, it was just crazy rules. They've been camping out since January.
These tickets were going for like upwards of $10,000.
Yeah, it's just for this. The average cost was $6,000 for this game. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know that UNC came in and beat the tar out of Duke?
Yeah. That's
how sweet is that, dude?
When I think I brought this up last week too. We've talked about it a ton with sports rivalries, and I've been a Duke fan since since probably like the 6th or 7th grade. I went and saw the Duke campus at a very young age. I'm like, man, this is a cool place. That was when I discovered college basketball. I was like, yeah, I like Duke. So that's it's kind of a stupid reason, but hey, I also got to root for a very, very good team for 30 plus years. But this rivalry, losing it to North Carolina, doesn't seem to sting as bad as when the Red Sox lose to the Yankees for Yankees fans. At least in my opinion, because you know that these two teams are going to go at it and give their best twice a year, 3 times a year, however many times they face each other. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a game that should be tuned in by everybody to watch. And for Mike Krzyzewski, for Duke fans, yes, definitely a bummer for him to lose his final home game. But that's just the motivation that the Duke Blue Devils are going to use next year when they face UNC. Is you stole Krzyzewski riding off into the sunset from us. We're gonna be out to put it to you. But it's not Duke won't just walk all over them, because that's a darn good team that's 8 miles away from you there in Chapel Hill. Those they're wars every year, no matter if one team is very good and one team is very bad.
Yeah, but Sam,
They're so much fun to watch.
yeah, okay. I sit here and listen to you for a couple of minutes going on and on about this, but let me tell you something right now. Duke's in trouble. You cannot allow your rival to come in on Mike Krzyzewski's night. They played so tight that game, dude. That is going to worry me, because if I was, could Duke win the championship? Absolutely. But dude, when it mattered, when it was your coach's biggest night in his entire career, his last night stepping down as coach of Duke, and you play like that, dude, what's it going to mean when they have to play on the Elite Eight teams way better than North Carolina, dude? It is going to, it bothers me. And there's no chance, after watching them see what they did happen to North Carolina, there's zero chance of picking Duke to go to the into the Final Four.
I was with you until I read what Mike Krzyzewski himself said about it. He said, "That's it. This whole thing of my final year. That's it. It's all over. There's no more home games. There's no more away games. There's nothing else to build to look forward to. So I think maybe his team played a little tight." Especially,
I would say,
especially that second half when UNC just blew their doors off. So I mean, do not think that Mike Krzyzewski cannot get his team mentally prepared to run through the ACC tournament, and then in a year where it's a fairly even year across college basketball.
Yes.
You want to bet against Mike Krzyzewski?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
okay. All right. I was looking at some Mike Krzyzewski stuff. Do you know 20 years at Duke, his winning percentage has been 800 or better?
Oh, I know.
Including 3 over 900. That's.
So this is Duke's. This is a very good Duke team. He brought a lot of players back. In fact, I think all the players that came back to play with Duke this year. So, I mean, and that is admirable. But, Duke, this year has not been about the players. This year has been about Mike Krzyzewski. It's almost to the point to where his narcissism is coming into play. And Duke is asking / demanding that we don't want to play when we make it to the tournament in the East like we're usually doing, where all of our fans can come and see us play. No, it's all about Mike Krzyzewski wanting to go play in the Midwest in Chicago, where he's from. It's all about Mike Krzyzewski. Let me tell you something. Mike Krzyzewski is a great coach. I'm not going to doubt him. But at the end of the day, dude, he doesn't play the game. It's the players on the floor.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, did they have even a senior night for these guys?
I don't know. So. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I'm kind of with you there. It has maybe it's not just been this year, but the mythology of Mike Krzyzewski, doesn't it seem like it's been around for about 10, 15 years now? That the man being bigger than than the sport. I even feel that with some of their last couple national championships, that it wasn't so much the championship as the team as it was Krzyzewski's championship. And
Well, let me say this: back in the day, back in the '90s, it was the team, right? I think of the Grant Hills, the Bobby Hurleys. You know what I mean? Some great players that came through Duke. And again, I remember the teams and the players on the court. I don't necessarily remember how great Mike Krzyzewski was. I remember how great the players were. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I'll be hard pressed to name 2 or 3 players on the team because all I hear about this year is Krzyzewski's last year. And again, I think the attention, and if I was a player, although I have great respect for my coach, he's not dribbling the ball. He's not doing the sweating. He's not doing the sprints. He's not, playing defense. He's not doing any of that. We are. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I think they're kind of burned out about it, man. Because all season long, they've been riding the Krzyzewski train. And granted, I think they respect him and they love him. But at the same time, it's getting old.
Yeah, I think, but that's what I said. By the man seems like he's been bigger than the game for at least 10 years now. Other than Zion Williamson, name one Duke player in the last 10 years.
I probably can think of some that are in the NBA right now, but I can't think of anybody on the top of my head. It's Williams. Well, what's the guy's name?
Well, you can't have Zion Williamson.
No. Williams. What's the guy's name? He's point guard. I can't remember, man.
Right. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's that, but
yeah.
And so, has he harmed the sport of basketball, the sport of college basketball, and the Duke Blue Devils themselves? I mean, it's not his fault that he became so big, but if he had walked away a little bit earlier, do you think that they could have helped themselves and been in a better position now? Because the next couple of years, it's going to be a little bit rough at Duke. Remember the year that he quit about a quarter of the way through the season, had to have back surgery. That was a terrible Duke team, absolutely terrible. So hey, look at what Baylor's doing and Gonzaga, and there's always Kentucky and Kansas and UNC. Recruiting just got much more difficult for Duke next year. And
yeah, I agree, man.
Duke dynasty that's rode for 20 plus years is coming to an end. And a lot of fans are definitely going to be cheering that.
Well, again, I can't wait till we break down these conference championships next week, man. You've got the ACC tournament.
Oh, dang, man. Tournament, we're going to sit down next week and pick brackets, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we have brackets coming out.
Can't wait. That's
last
awesome.
Question. We're getting ready to leave, Sam. Last question. We're done. Does Michigan make the 64? They're on a bubble, man.
They're on a bubble. I was reading about them. I think I saw them. I think they're sitting in the group that they call the next 4 out. If I were Michigan, I would want a couple wins in the Big Ten tournament. I think 2 wins in the Big Ten tournament puts them in. 1 win and some other upsets in some other conference tournaments. It could be Michigan out. So yeah, if Michigan wants in, go and win yourself 2 in the Big Ten this weekend.
They do have wins: Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, and Wisconsin. They do have those wins. Those are big wins.
They are, but I think honestly, just for the sideshow aspect of it, I think that the NCAA needs them there. They're a draw. They're a team that's going to draw.
I mean, you can look, dude. I mean, here. Let's be honest. Are they going to have St. Mary's or Michigan? I mean, come on,
Right.
let's do a bit.
Right.
Let's make a business decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to put Michigan in. I think they're going to come in. I think they're going to be an 11 seed. They're going to save the 12, 13, 14, 15 seed for the minors to win their conferences. But I think they wind up being 11 or 12 seed, and I think we move on. But I do think though there's going to be there's some people on the committee that's going to hold the whole Juwan Howard situation where he slapped the Wisconsin coach across their head.
Yeah.
I think that's going to hurt their chances, to be honest with you. I know that has nothing to do with on the court basketball things, but overall, they don't want that mess to be talked about throughout the NCAA tournament either. So
yeah.
Anyway,
but anyway, find it real quick. What the where Joe, trying to look to see where Joe Lunardi, what he did with Michigan. He's got him out. He's got him as the last 4 buys. I don't know what that's going to.
No, I thought Joe Lunardi had him out last time I saw.
This one was done 3/7 at midnight. So I'm guessing that was just here tonight. If I scroll and see where he's going to put him at, like this is exactly easy to read. Just give me a bracket that I can look at and move back and forth.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to look like that when you're trying to pull up your phone. Looking through real quick, and that's the wrong conference. That's not gonna. That's I don't know. I'm not. We'll actually get to see it come next Sunday. So
Sunday night.
Yeah. So I don't know if
guys tune in tomorrow night. Hindsight 2020. Myself.
That's a heck of a.
We talked kayak fishing. We talked to Adam Patrone, and yours truly is going to eat a Pocky chip as punishment. God help me.
I've seen them. Are they honestly that bad? Are they honestly that hot? I mean, I guess you'll find out tomorrow night, won't you? You'll find out. Okay. All right,
guys, tune in. Guys, we're done. That's actually an hour right on the
dot.
Wow,
we're gonna nail it right on an hour tonight. So
yeah.
All
right, Sam.
Hey, bud.
Man.
Have a good time. Have a good time in fishing in Florida. I'll see you, man. I'll see you next week, brother. Later.
Yeah, man. Bye.